Hello everyone. Today we are going to continue the next topic of chapter 10, living organisms and their surrounding of class 6. In the previous class we saw how the biotic components like the plants and the animals, how they are interacting with each other. In this video we are going to see how the abiotic components are interacting with the biotic components. As we all know, abiotic components are non-living components of earth, whereas the biotic components are living components of earth. So today we will see how the non-living components are interacting with the living components. Okay. So the air, soil, water, sunlight, temperature are used by the biotic components. What are these? These are the abiotic components which are existing on earth, which are non-living in phase. These are needed for what? They are needed by the biotic components like the plants and the animals, like we human beings also require these abiotic components for survival. Okay. So for example, why the plants are using these abiotic components for the survival? Yeah. Plants require air because air contains carbon dioxide in it, and this carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis process, that is food preparation process in the plants. Whereas they also require water which is present underground in the soil. The roots are developed in such a way that they are absorbing maximum amount of water through the soil and they are transferring this water to all parts of the body, right? Another thing is the soil. Why the plants need soil? Yeah, they require soil because they cannot move from one place to another. They are firm to the position where they are planted. So, in order to stand upright, they need soil which gives firm support to them. As well as the soil contains many nutrients in it like the nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, and these are very essential for the plant as various life processes, that is internal process of the plants are carried out with the help of these minerals. Whereas the sunlight, yeah, they do require sunlight which is a universal source of energy on the earth, right? So we all also require sunlight, even though the plants also require sunlight. For what? They require sunlight for the photosynthesis process, right? It is a food preparation process which require carbon dioxide which is present in the atmosphere, that is the air. Now it is a biotic component. It requires the minerals which are present in the soil. So again the soil is a biotic component. It requires the water which is present inside the soil, right? In the earth crust. Again this is a biotic component, whereas it also requires the sunlight which is also a abiotic component. So all the things which are required by the plants for the internal life processes all are abiotic components. So this is what the biotic component plants are dependent upon the abiotic components like the water, the soil, sunlight and the air for the requirement of carbon dioxide, right? And by using these abiotic components they try to survive a lot. Another example is of human being. Okay, variety of animals are there, like the domestic animals are there, wild animals are there, some are terrestrial, some are aquatic, some are aerial, some are arboreal. But amongst them I'm taking the example of human being, right? Why we require abiotic component? Now you will question yourself that why we require soil, why we require water, whether we are absorbing the water from the soil. We do not have roots. So why there is a need? So humans and other animals also require the abiotic components like the water and the soil and the sunlight as well as the air. Why? Air contains oxygen in it and the human beings require oxygen for respiration process, right? In respiration what we are doing? We are inhaling the oxygen through our nostrils and we are exhaling the carbon dioxide through our nostrils only, right? Where the oxygen is present? Oxygen is present in the abiotic component, that is air, right? Another thing is that we require soil. Why do we require soil? Human is such an animal which can think and which can civilize, which can cultivate the food products which are needed, right? For the cultivation, the farmers are using soil in order to grow the plants in a lot amount, right? They are obtaining their yield, their productivity, and they are selling those grains in the market, and those grains we are purchasing it because they are our food. Another thing is that we do require sunlight. Yeah, we also require sunlight because in our India, basically in our India, we have three seasons basically: the rainy season, right, the winter season, and the summer season. So we require sunlight because we are dependent on the plants for our food need, and plants require sunlight. Indirectly, the humans also require sunlight, as well as to maintain the temperature of the atmosphere, to maintain the temperature of our body, we do require sunlight, right? So the abiotic components like the water, yeah, water is an essential source of what I can say, it is an essential source by which our life processes can run smoothly. Even our body requires water contained so that all the life processes, all the internal processes which are going on in our body will work smoothly, right? The water is also an essential part of our life, and what it is a abiotic component. So it is clear to us why the abiotic components are essential for the biotic components like the plants and animals. Yeah, these plants and animals are dependent on the abiotic components for their survival. This is just an interaction between the abiotic component and the abiotic component which are existing on the earth. Let's proceed to the another topic, that is habitat. So the place, as I explained in the previous class only, the place where a living organism is living, okay, where the living organism is living, surviving, breeding, okay, giving birth to the young ones, that place is the habitat of that animal. Yeah, the habitat is suitable to that organism to survive very comfortably. Along with the survival, they are mating with each other, they are giving birth to the new ones, and the new ones are also surviving in that region only where their parents are living. So what is that? It is a habitat. So example, I'll take an example of a tiger. Where the tiger stays, whether it is staying in our city, in our town? No, it is staying in the forest. So what is the habitat of tiger? It is the forest environment. Forest habitat is the habitat of a tiger. Now, what about the cactus and the camel? Yeah, the cactus and the camel are the animals which are staying in a low water areas, that is in the desert areas. Their body is developed in such a way that they can sustain for longer period of time without water, right? So a frog's habitat is a lake or a pond, right? Frog is an amphibian animal. It can stay both on the land as well as in the water. But basically, the habitat in which they are staying is the pond or a lake. So these are the habitat of different animals like a tiger. Tiger's habitat is the forest. Frog's habitat is a lake or a pond. Or the cactus and the camel, they are having a habitat that is desert area. Habitat consists of both. Now, as I explained earlier, like the earth consists of both biotic and abiotic component, right? So, wherever an animal is staying, wherever its habitat is there, so there are lot of chances not. There are 100% chances where biotic and abiotic component both are present. So, in an ecosystem, like I'll take an example of forest habitat of a tiger, right? Forest habitat of a tiger has living components, that is biotic component, as well as non-living components in the forest. For example, animals that the tiger can hunt and feed upon. So along with the tiger in the forest, variety of animals are also present on which the tiger can prey and feed, take the nutrition from it, right? So what is that? The animals which are staying along with the tiger in that forest are the biotic components. The plants where it can raise, yeah. The plants are also present in the forest which give them the shelter, right? Which give the shelter to the tiger in order to rest under it. Whereas there is sufficient amount of water, like the water bodies which are present near the forest, which are abiotic components that are also a part of habitat of tiger. That is, forest habitat consists of plants, water bodies, and the different animals on which the tiger can feed upon. Okay, so in short, the forest habitat or any habitat of any organism contains both biotic components as well as abiotic components. Now, let's shift to the types of habitats. The types of habitats differ. There are two types of habitat. Basically, an aquatic habitat, which is a water habitat, and another one is the terrestrial habitat, which is a land habitat. It means that the animals which are staying in the water, they have an aquatic habitat, and the animals which are staying on the land, they have an terrestrial or the land habitat. Let's see what is aquatic habitats. So in the aquatic habitats, we have a lot of water resources on our earth. Some are salty, some are fresh water, some are present in the coastal areas, right? So accordingly, the habitats are divided into three groups. One is marine habitats, another one is freshwater habitat, and the third one is coastal habitats. Let's see one by one. Marine habitats. Marine habitats are the salt water habitats. Basically, the water present in these resources is salty. Okay, like the sea and the ocean. What is the example of marine habitat? The sea and the ocean, it has the salty water, so it constitutes the marine habitats. And the organisms which are staying in such habitat, they are called marine organisms. For an example, the whales and the shark, right? Whales and shark, whether they are present in freshwater? No, they are basically naturally present in the salty water, that is marine habitats. Let's see another one, freshwater habitats. Freshwater habitat refers to the lakes or the ponds or the streams which are present near to the locality or near to the forest area, right? So all the resources, rivers, streams, ponds, lakes, they have fresh water. There is no salt in the water resources. So we can refer it as a fresh water. It is a drinking water where an organism can drink that water. Another one, the examples of the animals which are staying in freshwater habitat are fish, water bugs, lily, etc. So along with the plants and animals, both are staying in this habitat. Okay, not only the animals but the plants are also staying in such kind of habitats. Third one is the coastal habitat. So coastal refers to the region where sea meets the land, right? Where the sea ends and land starts. That region is called as the coastal region, right? हम उसे हिंदी में किनार पट्टी कहते हैं, right? So estuaries are the coastal region where the river containing fresh water meets salty sea water. What is the thing? Estuaries are the example of coastal habitat where the fresh water is meeting the salty water of a sea. Fresh water from where? The lakes or the reef. Lakes, not the lakes, but the rivers or the streams, they are eventually meeting up or adding up into the sea water, right? In the salty water. So the place where they are meeting, that forms an estuary, right? So the organisms which are staying in such habitat, they are referred to as that habitat is referred to as coastal habitat. Organisms which live in this are crabs, right? Oyster, from which we will develop the pearls, and the mangroves. Mangroves are the plants. Okay, basically they are present in the estuaries region where the river, freshwater river, is meeting the salty water sea, and that forms the estuary, that is the coastal habitat. Now, these were the examples, or these are the types of aquatic habitats: marine, freshwater, and the coastal habitat. I'll give one example of estuary. Yeah, in India there is a Godavari estuary, right? What is estuary? The Godavari river starts. Okay, the origin of Godavari river is basically in Trimbakeshwar, Nasik, in Maharashtra. Here, the Godavari river starts its origin and it flows and draining the regions like Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Orissa. Okay, it starts from the Nasik, Trimbakeshwar in Maharashtra, and it's run or it's drained the regions like Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and Chhattisgarh, and finally this fresh water Godavari meets into the Bay of Bengal salty water. This is a Godavari estuary. Right? Another one type of habitat is the terrestrial habitat, where the animals are staying on the land but not in the aquatic or the water medium. So terrestrial habitats basically are divided into 5 types. One is the desert habitat where the low water is there. Okay, scarcity of water is there. Another one is the grassland habitat. Third one is the rainforest habitat. Fourth one is the tundra. It is also called as the polar habitat. And the fifth one is the mountain habitat. So in the next class, we are going to see all the types of terrestrial habitats and which animals are staying or which abiotic components are present in this habitat. For time being, let's end. Bye everyone.